This is Dirk Steele, my first ever hardcore Iron Man account since starting content creation over 7 years ago. I'll be taking this playthrough deadly seriously. Having just one life radically transforms the way you navigate dangerous scenarios. The greatest hardcores of our generation are also the most cautious. I'll need to rewire my own playstyle to minimize risks and prioritize safety over everything. However, having played exclusively Iron Man accounts for the past decade, gaining over 2 billion total experience in that time, I feel confident I can take this account very far if I lock in. In fact, I won't be satisfied until I have a max variant of the Infernal, Dizanas, and Majorina 2 capes. Without further ado, let's begin. There is something so special about making a brand new RuneScape account. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just like nostalgia or something, but walking around, doing all the beginning quests just feels so good. In the background of it all, I'm just brainstorming different routes I want to take. I'm also a player that very much resists guides, especially early game guides. I just like to do my own thing. And because I started this account in 2026, I do plan on implementing a lot of sailing into the early and mid game. There are a few hurdles, however, before we can delve straight into sailing. I need to get my construction and smithing up, and the way I'm going to be grinding smithing is through Blast Furnace and Giant's Foundry, a little mix of them. But if I don't want to be walking the whole time at Blast Furnace, I'm going to need full graceful and a high agility level. So let's start chipping away at these early courses and get ourselves a nice base. First maze random on the account. Now, I don't think I'm actually going to get that much loot because I think it rolls off of your total level. But if I get some good rolls, who knows, it could give me some like extra starter cash or something. Also, pro tip, right click walk here adjacent to the gates before opening them. This is going to save a few ticks and it's going to optimize your reward potential. And look at that, 80%, such high reward potential, but totally scammed because we have such a low total level. I'll end up just selling these runes, I think, for some extra cash. I swear, out of everything in the early game, agility is the turd in the punch bowl. It is so silly how often you fail, especially the Varrock course. This is just crazy. How cool would it be if they added some sort of reactionary mechanic to prevent failing? Something like a Vardorvis red splat that appears in the middle of your screen that you got to click right before failing, and if you click it in time, then you continue onward. That would be, ooh, that would feel so good. And there is 40 agility. Let's continue on with some more quests. There's Pandemonium completed. This fully unlocks the sailing skill. I think I'm gonna spend the next several minutes just roaming around Sarum Bay and getting some free charting, see what level we get to. And here comes the final chart that I want to do for now. Level 11 sailing, beautiful. Let's get back to a few more quests. Client of Karen completed. I think I'm going to use these 2 lamps on farming. Okay, word of caution. If you have been playing a high level account that has changed some of your menu settings, just be sure that wines are reset to drink, not drop. I've been dropping wines for years, thieving elves and stuff. So just be sure when you start a new hardcore to swap that. There's Rune Mysteries completed. Children of the Sun completed. That allows access to Varlamore. And Romeo and Juliet, 5 quest points. Hell yeah. One of the nicest early game updates they added recently was the standardization of standard spells, meaning Wind Strike can now hit up to 8 as long as your magic level's 13 or higher. So purchasing this air staff now sets me up really nicely for early game quest combat. Druidic Ritual completed, level 3 Herblore. It's so frustrating having all these random settings activated when you start a new account. World hopping warning, like this is just so silly. Also, in case you weren't aware, there is a settings cogwheel on the world hopper that allows you to hide certain worlds. So if you just never want to hop to a PvP world or some other random world, you can just turn them off and you never see them. It's pretty nice. It's interesting how dominant Mage is on both ends now. It's super good early game and it's super good late game with the Shadow. Now that I have a bit more HP, let's go claim this 10k cash and these fancier boots. Hell yeah. Now I'm going to grind out 15 mining just so I have the iron ore ready for Doric's quest. I know it looks like I'm bouncing all over the place, but I'm gonna go grab a forestry backpack right now and start grinding some wood cutting. I'm gonna need several hundred oaks and willow logs to buy the log basket and to eventually get a felling axe handle. And wood cutting is like the perfect winding down activity. So let's start chopping. Holy shit, I just hit level 27 and I complete one forestry event and jump to 28. This is so OP. I just learned how powerful foresters' campfires are in the early game. Usually it'll take several attempts for you to successfully light a log, but with the forester's campfire, you can just use logs on it and it's a guaranteed burn after 9 ticks. And there's 200 total level. Let's go. It turns out you can speed up this forester's campfire by 50% if you just manually use the logs on each one. So normal fire making is 4 ticks, this is 6 tick, and full AFK forester's campfire is 9 ticks. There's 30 fire making, 40 wood cutting, 40 fire making, and 50 wood cutting. There we go. Now let's go get our log basket. 300 oaks, 300 willows, and 5,000 anima bark. There it is. This is going to be very nice for the rest of wood cutting. There's Gertrude's cat completed, and my very own cat, which I will not be trading in, by the way. I am a humane player. Daddy's home completed. Very nice, and some extra supplies in the crate for me. This is extremely risky, but I've never actually died pulling the lever on any new account, so I just took it. I didn't have a second account scouting or anything. I needed to get over to Artie just to start completing some other quests on that side of the map. God, using magic is so OP. There is 13 combat and the warlord dead. Let's go complete Tree Gnome Village. Shooting me straight up to 28 attack. So nice. And there's Haziel Colt completed, Monk's Friend completed, and the Grand Tree completed for some juicy rewards. I'm at such an early stage, I don't have games necklaces, so using shortcuts like this are so helpful. This takes me directly to Barbarian Assault. Just taking a quick pit stop, there is 55 wood cutting, and I banked all the willow logs. These will be extremely useful for Veil totems coming up. There is Waterfall quest completed, 41 attack, 30 strength, just the biggest leap, honestly. It's so good. Okay, this is pretty cool. I need 50 rune essence for Priest in Peril, and I'm just using a crappy bronze pickaxe. However, I can make it go from a default 8-tick action to a 4-tick action by tick manipulating. As you see, I'm making these little step backs and I'm returning right on the tick where you get the double roll. And that's Priest in Peril completed, granting me access to Canifis course. 45 agility. There is 60 woodcutting, allowing me access to the woodcutting guild where I will buy my rune axe. And there's the big 50. I am now able to access Wintertodt. However, there are still 2 more prerequisites I need, one being warm clothing and the other being the fletching knife. The fletching knife speeds up fletchings in Wintertodt by 50%, and it comes from the new fletching activity, Veil Totems. I need 20 fletching just to start the minigame, so let's get on it. I just remembered how short I am on cash, and I'm gonna need to buy some feathers to put on these arrow shafts for the remaining fletching levels. I figured I'd take a detour to these Zamorak warriors and see if I can get lucky on a rune sim while I'm at it. Never lucky. There's a 400 total level and 24 magic. One more until I can teleport to Varrock. Holy shit, there it is. Rune sim on the hardcore. Real quickly, copping 50 agility on the way to buying feathers. And there it is, 20 fletching. Let's make our way over to Veil Totems. I really have not looked up anything in regards to XP per hour at these lower stages. I'll have to be using oaks at first, and then at level 35 fletching, I can start using my willows that I have banked. So let's do some experimentation and just see what the XP per hour is looking like. Okay, so just after a few minutes, it looks like I'm getting above 30k XP per hour using oaks, and I am running the entire circuit. I switched to willows and have been doing it for about an hour, and I'm getting over 80k XP per hour. I didn't really know what to expect from the XP rates, but this is pretty damn generous for such a low level. 50 fletching, I can now start using maples, and I'm sure that's going to be a massive increase to my XP per hour. Unfortunately, I don't have any maples banked, so next plan is to get a rune axe, and then I can start chopping a bunch of maple logs and yew logs. But for now, let's start rummaging through the veil offerings and see what we get. Not bad. I mean, I didn't get the fletching knife, but the loot is pretty good, and I get bone shards, which is going to be super nice for early prayer. Very last day to do the Christmas event, but I squeezed it in just in time, got all the music tracks, got all the Diango uniques, and most importantly, I have my warm clothing locked and loaded, ready for Wintertod once I get that fletching knife. And there's Clock Tower completed. Corsair Curse done. Doric's quest completed. There is Plague City and Biohazard completed. Let's go get our Artie Cloak 1. I completely forgot that you need to teleport from Artie for the achievement diary task. So without scouting or anything, there we go. It took the risk, paid off. And the iconic Iron Man cloak. First achievement diary completed on the account. Already easy. This cloak is so good. I just love the fact that it has unlimited teleports just at the first stage of the diary. So nice. Now, I just want to make it abundantly clear. I am not trying to be the absolute most efficient on this account. I love just kind of following my heart and just going wherever I feel in the moment. So here I am, thieving some silk, just building up enough money to eventually buy that rune axe. Each piece of silk sells at 60 GP each, so not a bad way to get some thieving levels and also build up a little bit more cash. Boredom definitely sparks curiosity. I began wondering during this grind whether the western or southern bank was actually closer to the silk stall, and it turns out the southern one is 27 ticks and the western's 28, beating it by 1 tick. So if you guys plan on thieving silk on an early account, run to the southern bank. It is worth it. 30 thieving, I can now thieve from fruit stalls. Figured I'd take a little detour over to the Colossal Worm course. I'm gonna need high agility regardless. The plan is also to max the account, so I may as well get agility out of the way earlier rather than later. So here I am, I'm gonna just try to grain log this place, and that's 55 agility. 7 more levels until I can start doing the more advanced course here. This is legitimately highway robbery. 40k for a rune axe. These things alch for like 7k. Jesus. Years ago, I used to post a lot of random skilling videos of just like niche methods that nobody would really ever use. But I remember a 2-tick yew video that I ended up doing, but that was pre-forestry. So now with the forestry changes, this 2-tick yew spot is actually really good. The only real issue is you got to use a minecart over to the Chambers of Zarek Bank to actually bank efficiently. Of course, if I had any form of teleportation, like a skilling necklace or something, this would be a lot better. But honestly, it's not too bad because you could just stand next to 2 different yew trees. That used to never be the case. Here's another classic woodcutting method that a lot of people have now done. I remember posting a video of this one in particular about 5 years ago. 2-tick willows. It is so good. The XP per hour is probably among the best I can get. I imagine teaks might be a little bit better, but this is really good. Plus you get the +8 invisible woodcutting boost because I'm in the guild. Yeah, only 64 woodcutting right now, and I'm getting over 100k woodcutting XP per hour. There's 65 woodcutting, 20 construction. I have 5,600 veil offerings, so let's open them and pray we get the knife. Nothing, but what's nice is I'm slowly accumulating research points, which will actually allow me to buy the fletching knife if I don't get it early. The most goated matching forestry event. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, all right here, adjacent to the spot where I'm dumping. This is the dream. What better date night activity is there than completing Shield of Arav together? I am always Phoenix Gang. Let me know down in the comments what you guys choose on your new accounts. Back to Veil Totems with 25 construction, 65 fletching, and for the final reward poll of the episode, 7,000 offerings. Let's get it. Oh my god, very last pull, Bowstring Spool. This is actually so good early game. One, I can use my bales of flax at a spinning wheel with this bad boy. I can also utilize it in the minigame itself and get way more XP just stringing all my bows before I use them as the totem ornaments. In the next episode, I will 100% be getting that fletching knife, starting Wintertodd solos, building up some rewards and extra cash to start the official smithing grind. I'm so excited. Thank you all for watching.